Okay, we're rolling. Up from the grave he rose, with a mighty triumph for his foes. He rose a victor from the dark domain, and he lives forever with his saints to reign. Okay, gets me out of my doldrums and gives me something to do here. A little bit chilly out this morning, Calgary, Alberta. Here, it's the 13th of June here. Oh, lucky number. Good Friday, Friday the 13th. Hey, you're not superstitious, are you? I had locker number 13 in high school all through year. Nobody else wanted it. Everybody else knew it was my locker. Okay. Well, and they didn't even ask. People say they're not superstitious, but what do? Oh. What do the salespeople say? Buyers are liars. We lie. Oh, no, I didn't do that. No, I'm not superstitious there, really. I just don't want to have a black cat walk under my ladder and all this stuff. I'm not superstitious. Okay. Hey, well, this guy, I don't feel so bad having my name on YouTube, okay? He's got his name too, Cap Chatfield, I guess. I saw him last night here. Whoops. What happened here now?
Wedding blueprint for the rapture. Okay. The
Here we
Bible
go.
talks about Jesus being the bridegroom and we're the bride. And we're basically getting caught up and we're being prepared for a wedding feast. Isn't it cool that the Bible begins with a wedding with Adam and Eve? There's a wedding in the middle of the Bible, sort of, with the Song of Solomon. And then you have a wedding at the end of the Bible with Revelation. I just think God tells the most amazing love stories, right? But watch this. One of the most beautiful and compelling pictures of the rapture is found in the ancient Jewish wedding tradition. So this isn't just a cultural background, it's actually a very prophetic typology. Jesus didn't just borrow.
Okay. It's good in some ways, I would say. My viewpoint, okay? If he's only coming once. See, this is pre-trib think. Coming once. He came once as a little babe in the manger, and he's the second coming. Okay? Trouble is, it doesn't quite fit. Enoch was in the first 1,000. He's the center candle. And Matthew 27, I keep going to it, is a rapture. They were caught up. It confirms it in different places. Matthew 27, 52 and 53. The one guy from Utah has a very good teaching why Matthew's different than the other Gospels. On and on this goes. Okay? He's written to the Jewish people. And, yeah, even the vinegar he was given, torn down here, the drink, okay? Everything Jesus did confirmed that he was their Messiah. When the child was born blind, and Jesus healed him. Okay? Matthew 27, 52 and 53. And the graves were open, and many of the bodies slept arose, and came out of the graves after his resurrection. That is the second from the center candle. We're the next event. Revelation confirms this, Matthew 27. Revelation 14, verse 4. says first fruits. Revelation 7, 12 times 12 is 144. And this is the great multitude. We're the next candle. Well, what about the last candle? Okay, that's after our event when Elijah comes. Come on. Why are the two witnesses sent? Because an event happened. And no. Mainstream media and these other teachers are not going to tell us the truth. Because it doesn't fit into their particular theology. So you can go through this, fella, and everything else. Sounds nice. Sounds nice. Okay? But how accurate is it? Okay? Should do a definition of a cult. Any one or any group that you put ahead of his written word, okay, becomes cult-like. How many people are doing that? Oh, you point finger at everybody else. You point fingers at the Seventh-day Adventists. Some of them do actually have some of the gospel message there. It's more than some other people can say. No, I don't like it when they take other writings or other people's opinions and put it over and above his written word. And how many people do that? You'll be talking to somebody, oh, they just got to get into that sanctuary. You just got to hear from God. Really? What does his written word say? How many pastors say, don't have to believe him, but if you question them, oh, they really get upset about that. Huh. And what do they really? It's a double talk. It's all double talk. They say one thing and do the opposite. That's called hypocrisy. Okay? It just goes on and on. Yeah, I should do a title. Definition of a cult. Nice and simple. Any one or any group that comes ahead of his written word. So somebody starts teaching something. Mormons do this. Guy says, second Adam sounds like Mormon. Well, yeah. But then they spin their other doctrines and theology around it. How many of us do that? Oh, that's in the Old Testament. How many people say that? But they like to take what they want to hear. Want to teach. Oh, Malachi. Here. Let's go to Malachi. Behold, sends you Elijah the prophet. After the next catching up. Enoch was in the first 1,000. Elijah. Jesus is the center. Then, Matthew 27. It's confirmed. In the mouth of, line upon line and precept upon precept. Revelation 14 verse 4. First fruits. You can take, let's go to it. People are lazy. Or here's 1 Thessalonians 4:14. So you take and flip the numbers. Instead of 14:4, take 1 Thessalonians 4, verse 14. See, most people start at 15 or 16. For the Lord himself shall descend. Okay. They're trying to promote their rapture. Their rapture view. Well, what's it say here? For we believe that Jesus died and rose again. Okay? Like, if you don't believe that, okay, then we need to start over. One guy says he didn't really die. I says, he was run through with a Roman spear. He didn't say anything more. See, he was Islamic background. Even so, them also which sleep in Jesus. What? In some cave with Enoch? What some people like to teach? Will God bring with him? Oh, that's some out of body spirit. Really. Well, we can go to. See, they like to take this one. Oh, it's not in the Old Testament, but they like this verse, right? Will a man rob God? All right, about talking about the tithing, right? Yeah. See, goes around and around and around. Double talk. But here's Malachi 3. What verse is it? 5. Press the hireling. And see, they don't put the warning. They don't teach the rest of it. Zechariah 14. Is there any resurrection from the Mount of Olives? How many people think there's a resurrection from the Mount of Olives? Okay. How come the saints come with him? What? See? Ambassadors already chosen will be required to attend the Feast of Tabernacles, or there will be no rain. Okay? Okay? It's there. Blessed are those that believe and have not seen. Thomas wanted to see the hand pierced. Some people trying to teach you it wasn't nails. Well, what was Thomas looking at? Okay? See? They say all kinds of stuff. Back it up. They don't want to. Because they're the great guru. And you put their opinion. Don't put my opinion. 2 and 2 equals 4. Not because some teacher taught us that. And 2 times 2 also equals 4. But 3 times 3 and 3 plus 3. It's not the same answer. Oh, it's not too bad. It's just a little bit off. But unless you start making corrections. But what do they want to do? Do they want to take the pre-trib idea out? No. They like that. So that's what people are at. See, they're trying to fit 2 feet into 1 shoe. A definition of a cult. So and so says such and such. How many people run over, you say something, and they make a beeline to the pastor and blah, 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 blah. And just get stared at, and next thing you know, you're tossed out on your ear. Yeah, I've had it happen lots. There was only one fellow, Spanish guy, yesterday at the energy show. Well, I say little different things, and most people, the colony guy that was there, he didn't want to discuss it. Okay. The Spanish guy, he wanted to discuss it. Yeah. More and more and more. Okay. Why? He was interested. Okay. Talent of lead. Does the preacher want to learn this? The young preacher? No. He already knows what this is. He already knows everything. From Shinar, Iran. That's the missiles. It's not a paper featherweight. It gives the dimensions too. Zechariah chapter 6, the branch. Okay? Who's the branch? Well, we're grafted into the vine. Romans 11. I got tossed on my ear on that one too. They were talking about Romans 10 and 12. Well, what happened to chapter 11? I was tossed out of my ear. How dare you question? How dare you question? Well, they make the statement. Don't just believe that what they're saying. Read it, study it. But if you do, and you question them, they don't like it. Oh, why? Light repels darkness. Darkness does not repel light. Okay? So, promote this guy a little bit. But here's my humble abode. We're going to be moving into a bigger place. I don't know if we can afford it or not. Feast of Trumpets, September 23rd. There's my phone number, and yeah, my name is on my YouTube. Only 4 more months. Guy was teaching something about 40 days of Moses, and times 3 is 120 days. Well, what's 4 months? Okay. And I wrote that out on Pentecost time. It's actually up around 100 days now. 100 days. Okay. To what? Feast of Trumpets. Yeah, some promoted it last fall through again. I said, come to realize Israel is 77 years old in May this year, 2025. Jacob was 77 years old when he married Leah. One wife at a time. Got enough problem with one. Paul made reference to it. Okay? Yeah. We know these kings had lots. I think that was a part of their social welfare system. How many men were killed during the wars? This happened in Bolivia big time. Okay? So, hey, get over it. There's only 17 minutes yet. No. I don't know. I gotta go get some lobelia, it's called. It's a herbal item I use. May cause coma. Big warning on it. Yeah, if you take 2 whole bottles of it, but it makes you vomit. Yeah, it's nicknamed pukeweed. Okay. It helps me cough up my phlegm. I lost my spleen from chemicals on the farm. Hard to prove. But one guy almost killed him right away. Ended up in emergency. Okay. Big drones there at the oil show yesterday. Okay. One robotic welder made in Grand Prairie, Alberta, of all places. I thought it was German built or something. Interesting machine. Replace, he says, something like 15 or 18 welders. Well, if you ask him his numbers a little bit, is because based on 24 hours. Yeah, so that would be 3 shifts of welders. Okay, and still have to have somebody supervising it. Yeah, okay. So maybe it replaces half a dozen welders, 6 or 8 welders in a shop. Hey, quite an interesting item. You probably pay a lot more than buying your semi-truck, mister. $200,000-$300,000 for a semi-truck, and you can barely, after expenses and fuel and everything else, what a hassle. I've been there. I'm semi-tired. Do you know what that means? I take a little, not retired, just, Moses didn't retire, he just refired. Okay? Noah, he was busy building a boat, remember? But Lot had to get out of the city. It's in context. The opposite to building with Lot is tearing down. But what are they doing? It's all double talk. A lot of it's all double talk. They believe in the last days, and then they want to, what, keep building? And where's all the people coming from? Well, in Calgary, Alberta, Nigeria just happens to be 5 times the population of all of Canada. I know lots of them now. Okay. And they keep building. I suggested maybe you should build underground, like a bomb shelter. That's what they have them do in Ukraine. Storage is upstairs. We go downstairs for the functions. Okay, why? The one missile came right through the one corner. I heard that at a Seventh-day Adventist. But then later on, sitting up at the front, after their study near the front, I suggested to the guy to bring it up to speed about missiles and everything else. Okay. So what does the pastor do? Well, he mentions Easter. So I happen to say, no, Passover. Well, got checked out the door. Fulfilling Revelation, you know. It says you will be cast out. Hey, get over it. Peter had to get out of the boat and he got dunked again. Yeah. Guy talks about the power of Holy Spirit, but just a week before, no, he wouldn't dunk me again. What do you think? It was a bird that came on Jesus? Okay. And after I had to do myself, the Lord, he reminded me that Philip did not have to go back to Jerusalem, ask Peter his permission or the other's opinion about dunking the Ethiopian. The Ethiopian was one that brought the topic up. Maybe we should go and look at that. Where is that? In the book of Acts, I think. I'll have to do a teaching on that one, huh? The Ethiopian was reading. He knew a few things already. Didn't know, and Philip, as an evangelist, explained it to him. Philip probably walked out to the desert. Too busy, but the Holy Spirit led him out there. Hey, they're too busy. Too busy doing what? I say to these colony guys, gotta go? The washroom's over there. The one guy says he got scrapyard today. Hot Dog Friday. We pick up used appliances sometimes with him. I was talking to another guy. Guy has his business for sale. The property's for sale. He's keeping the business moving it elsewhere. He's been 30-some years in the used appliance business. Money gets tight, people. His business actually gets better. I had one phone call. He takes a heating element off one stove. He's going to go in his truck now and fix the stove. New part costs lots of money. He takes it off another one. He's got a store right near the bank on a fairly busy street. The property's worth big money. So yeah, he's got the property up for sale.
He was actually pointing to a real spiritual sequence that would unfold with his return for the church. So in a traditional Jewish wedding, listen to this. The groom would begin by leaving his home to purchase the bride with a costly price.
Hey, I remember having this taught. First time I heard it was when I was in the territories. A guy from Winnipeg was teaching about this. And no, it's from Toronto, actually. And then one time I'm walking through the airport in Calgary, Alberta. A coffee shop and a restaurant near there. I'm not sure what I remember. There was a Filipino function or something there. And who do I see? So I have lunch with a guy from Toronto. Okay, he was talking about the Hebrew wedding. There's lots to learn there. Okay. But the Hebrews themselves have what? Have this idea that the Spirit hovers around for 3 days. That's Canaanite. Why do you think he resurrected Lazarus on the fourth day? See? He waited 2 more days. He's maybe trying to tell us something there too. A day is 1,000 years. Okay, where are we at? No, the Hebrew calendar's not accurate. They don't want to debate that. Why? What are they basing it on? Oh, basing it on the numbers in the Bible. Well, read it closely. When it says the king reigned 40 years, it says in his 40th year. Could be 40 years and 11 months. It's not accurate. Okay? Gregorian or Julian calendar is from his birth. It's not accurate. What do you think the April 8th solar eclipse was about? He said he'll put signs in the heavens. Just formed the capital A. It's the same time as Omega was being formed in Euphrates River. What? But no. Yeah, that was 2 years ago. They were saying step in the fall. He said no, the solar eclipse comes first. April 8th, 2024. Okay? See, we're coming up near half an hour. Maybe I'll just end it. I've got things to do today too. I don't have all time day. I got other things. Yeah, I have to keep on reminding myself too. Even like at the oil show, got this hat there. Okay. Could put some. My phone ran down. Yeah, here I go again, doing this recording with my phone unplugged. And later on, if I want to download it, my phone runs dead. So plug the phone in. Yeah, I got a longer cord so I can play with this while I'm doing this. No, I'm not a highly... Got too many hats I wear. My dad used to say that. What hat do you have on today? I'm not a pastor. The guy in Lethbridge kind of ribbed me. How come you're not a pastor by now, Al? I looked at him and said, you know I'm not called to be a pastor. Who do you think goes out to the colonies? Okay? What? They're coming to your church? See, their church? No, it's his church. Out of the abundance of our heart, our mouth speaks. How come we speak anxious? We're wanting something to happen. We're afraid it won't. Don't be afraid. It will happen. Aaron from Hamilton, just because you got it wrong, don't go to the other extreme, the ones that are watching this. That's where the big danger. Okay? We're all human yet. We're not immortal. No, we need resurrected. Okay? And the saints come with him. I wrote this down. Some people teach the white horse is the Antichrist. I watch it once in a while. It's, it sounds reasonable sometimes what they teach until you start studying it closer. Okay? Here, living waters is already happening. How do you think they're surviving in Gaza? Probably growing mushrooms underground. They did that during the Nazi occupation of France. Okay? They're probably doing that in North Korea, in caves and stuff, trying to survive. What do you think the soldiers are willing to sign up, go to the Ukraine war? Probably surrender when they give them a sandwich to eat. Okay. They haven't got much choice. But most of the Americans are stuck in pre-trib. At the show, I noticed the Americans are willing to talk a little bit. The only one that was willing to talk more and discuss it was a Spanish Mexican fellow from Texas. Most of them, well, we got other things to do, and everything else. No, the Spanish guy, he wanted to know. We actually got into actual listings. Matthew 27, I said, happened every 1,000 years. That's what the solar eclipse was about. He wanted to know more. Like the Ethiopian on the road. Okay? Most of them, they talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. Most Canadians. 2 rocks came from nowhere. See, my ex-wife is Norway. Nowhere. And banged together. And we have everything. Yeah, well, criticize the government, but then the Canadians are a little bit different. We actually look for the government to tell us what to do. This is how many people are at. Okay? Then they run that. If you're in tune with this book a little bit, they run down and find out what their latest guru teaches. A lot of them are Canaanite. Yeah, last chapter of Zechariah 14. What's your version say? You want to look in the big Hebrew book? Hebrew on one side. And what's it say on the other side? Trader or merchant. Are you kidding me? It's not talking about the person's occupation. Okay? Here. Feasted. Every pot in Jerusalem. It's an illustration, maybe. It's like a finger dipped in water. Is it really going to quench a fiery thirst? I asked the Lutheran guy after he had a teaching about hellfire. Hey, at least he teaches somewhat of a gospel message about being raptured, okay? How many people don't even want to do that anymore? It's all psychology. Yeah, here. Where's the magazine? I talked this other day. Hey, isn't this nice? Everybody can compare. Yeah, it's psychology. Now, doesn't have a thing about Hebrew messianic stuff in this. Okay. So who brings this magazine, puts it in the foyer all the time? Well, the 2 daughters of the guy, Filipino guy that had me ousted out, took psychology. Or they have the guy behind the pulpit that knows the book Psycho-Heresy by Botkin. I should write these things out more, you know. Actually, should get a smaller whiteboard here too, huh? Might actually work that way. I should do that sometime. Psycho-Heresy by Botkin. Or if you've heard of Dave Hunt, it was in the Lutheran Little Library. The Adventist rent them buildings, so that's how I ended up over there. Because I got this other book from them. I give to the... Got some historical stuff in here. Here, you want to read... what? Book of Enoch. They say, yeah, just historical stuff. Richardson. Joel Richardson using it. He gives the warning out. Not to use it for doctrine and everything else, but warning out. But he uses it to justify his pre-trib view. It's not a laughing matter, actually. It's a deadly, deadly game. Okay, and teachers shall be held more so accountable. Okay? So you want to accuse me of using yours? Hey, we're all going to stand before the king one day. Okay? And that's why I constantly point finger people to this book. What does this book say? They asked me even in high school, what's your opinion now? I look at them and say, you want my opinion or what I know? See, we're actually setting a thing up here. Opinion is a dime a dozen. You don't want just my opinion. Well, what do you know? Not too much. It says, let's see what this book says. Okay? Don't follow me. Follow this book. Matthew. Oh, here's the abomination spoken by Daniel the prophet. Well, that must be a repeat of the third temple. Isn't that what happened? Second temple, rather. Now they're wanting the so-called third temple. I saw a hologram in Israel. There was no wall to touch. Do they want to discuss it? No. Okay. So how does the dietary thing cause love to wax cold? See, the old guy in Lethbridge picking up bread for soup kitchens or something. I don't know what he's doing. Asked me, what does a dietary thing got to do with love waxing cold? I said, absolutely nothing. They sent other people over from the congregation to do the evangelistic work I was doing. They didn't do a very good job. Why? He nailed them on this, and they couldn't answer it. Well, he discussed it with me. I says, nothing. I can't help it if they're teaching that over there. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with everything over there. He was like, really? I thought you used to go there. Doesn't mean I agree with everything. Hey. My wife, she's the one went from the one boat, the Sunday boat, with her charismatic Filipino group. They had one split, and then she went to the other group, and then they seemed to be much the same again. And then her one friend suggested go hearing this guy in Lethbridge. We happened to be living in a little town south here when Calgary was flooded. Ironic how things were worked out. And then she comes out, and now she got in the other boat, the Hebrew Messianic boat. Calls the guy, Rabbi, Rabbi. The Filipino guy, now he won't even talk to me. yeah, my wife is Filipino. Huh? Hey, one wife at a time, guys. Okay? No, they don't have a problem. Okay? There's her grandson. Her son is in San Diego, where the plane crashed. Hey, Mr. American. I told quite a few Americans this. They were happy to know that. As your National Transportation Safety Board actually numbers, I got it online. Hey, look it up. I can look it up. You want me to look it up? National Transportation Safety numbers. How come every little plane crash like the one in San Diego is national news? Hey, sorry, 2 people got killed. Do you report every vehicle accident? If it's a big bus accident like in Saskatchewan here. I blame the Saskatchewan government more for that than anybody. Hockey players too, that's their idol. That was major news. If a police officer gets killed, well, hey, that's national news too, you know. Then you gotta have it coast to coast AM. I remember that show on the radio with Art Bell. Yeah, what am I listening to after midnight driving through Chicago? Well, you get up at midnight and drive through. Okay? Not during rush hour traffic on an icy highway. What? Wait till the sun thaws out in the morning. I beat the one truck from the mine site down south here to Calgary, Alberta. And this is what I used to do. I'm semi-tired. But I used to share with people on the road. On the road again. Yeah, I've been at seminary a few times. They told me not to come back. Really, Mr. 7-Day Adventist that doesn't want to give up Christmas and Easter. And you're packed off white to Australia as far as I'm concerned. I've been there. And they went through a major denominational split in 1948, like other ones too, but you won't admit that. They hide it away. And the guy doing the archaeological dig stuff wasn't in good standing, so you're the ones that Ron Wyatt. You scoff and mock him more than others. You're so concerned about your little prestigious. And the guy walking down the stairs, what's he saying? His language? Yeah, like a lot of Canadians. Don't say the F-bomb. No. But G-O-D and J-I-C, that's okay. F-bomb? UK named KFC. What did they name it? FCK. At least they got some humor about it. Canadians, oh boy. Got to make sure you scratch your nose with the two fingers. Do you know what I mean by that? It's body language. Here, you want to see my mugshot? There's my mugshot. I couldn't find my darker glasses. These are actually take a little bit off. I got problems with my eyes. Okay. The bright light's too bright. Yeah, I don't have as many whiskers as the one guy. No, we're not sanctified. I covered that before. Toothless wonder. Yeah, you want to give a donation? Somebody do an impression for me? No, I don't have $1,000 for a piece of plastic. Okay? Don't have an insurance plan. On and on and on. If your nose is itchy, noses are special, you know why? They're hand-picked. Not so kosher, you know. Nose is itchy, scratch it like this. Or like this. They got upset about that. Got to make sure you scratch your nose like this. Because when you scratch it like this, you might be telling them a little bit of body language, you know. The guy got upset. So I got him. I said, oh, sorry, I should have scratched it like this. So then he doesn't really know. Okay. Body language. Peter was a pebble. When he said, upon this rock. Was he? Upon this rock. Upon me. Upon this rock. He was the rock that came forth with living water in the wilderness. Hey, they found out rocks can move in the desert. How? It freezes underneath. A little bit of melting. The wind blows and the rock actually slides on the desert sand. Okay, but I think there was some divine intervention there. Okay. But psychology is a form of godliness denying the power. Oh, here we go. You don't need my mugshot anymore, do you? Psychology is a form of godliness denying the power. This book warns us about it. But now it's become a mandatory class. You wonder why some of these people are so arrogant? Self-esteem. This light does not light itself up. There's a little heater on the floor. I should shut it off before I forget. It's cold downstairs. Warm enough upstairs, but the walls here, where below ground level, are still frozen in Canada. In the summertime, it's a little nicer downstairs because the ground is cold. Up north, it's still frozen. Yeah, that's what they call permafrost. Way down south in Mexico and stuff, you don't even need hot water. Why? The pipes are only under the sidewalk. And a little bit of sand. It's already cold. Here, we should have a heat exchanger on our wash water here. It's just going down the drain. And the big difference between the coming in water and the going out water. So it should have a heat exchanger. If the water's coming in warm and going out warm. It ain't going to make that much difference, is it? Okay? I explained it to some of the people at the oil show. I asked a few of them talking about another situation. I said, yeah, some people pretend they have dementia. They can't remember. But I said, they seem to remember real well when you owe them money. Well, the one guy south of town here, I went to see him again. I was really upset about. He says I owed him. Well, who fished the water well drilling bit out of the well? I asked, talked to him, few him. I said, he kind of asked me how'd you get it out? He didn't. I said, you ever seen friction welding? He'd never heard of it. I says, well, how do they put a big axle from a railway onto that big wheel? It's called friction welding. All they have to do is spin the shaft into that wheel, and it gets that hot. It'll actually melt into it. And then you're not going to pull it apart. You have to cut it apart with a cutting torch. Hey, this is what I do. I go down the rabbit trails that the preacher talks about. Find the rabbit hole and go down the rabbit hole. You're not going to find these things by listening to the guru that just wants to spout off. You have to do some digging. Okay, the mysteries are being revealed. Paul mentions that. They are being revealed. Why? One guy at the soup kitchen got alive. He knew it was written he thought a couple hundred years ago. I says 2,500 years ago, Zechariah chapter 5. Well, how come they don't want to read it now? Because they got a good thing going. They got a comfort lifestyle. They don't have to worry about stuff. They go on conferences on Caribbean cruise boats and then turn around and come back. And, of course, people want to be blessed more. So they have a teaching about giving more. And then they have a teaching with estate planning. Do your giving while you're living. Oh, that sounds so nice. So what, they can take that promissory note of the state to the bank and borrow money on it for their building? Hey, what are they doing? Do your giving while you're living. Okay? As if you were going to follow them down the garden path the rest of your life. The one guy's 94. Hey, he learned about, he was involved with abortion protesting. So, yeah, he knew us in the womb. So why are we celebrating Greek birthdays? Hey, you want to get JWs out? Teach a teenager about Hanukkah. Mary met Elizabeth. But see, we don't want to learn that. We want to have our ears tickled in a little 20 or 30 minute message. Give them a little donation, even though we took it from our workers wrongly. Get a tax deduction on it. Go out the door and still believe pre-trib. Hey, no problem. We're going to float off to Never Never Land. Really? Don't count on it. Matthew. Different places warns about it. Matthew 22. Matthew 22. What does it say? For many are called, but few are chosen. What's that in context with? See, let's read it in context. Okay. Talks about the wedding, the guests. Okay. Where's your wedding garment? Some people think that it's as long as you got dunked. Really? The colony people do this. Sit in the colony and think they're inherited wealth. Yeah. Little statement. Got their nose stuck up their rear. Do you know what Canadians mean by that? Yeah. Inherited wealth, and they haven't got a clue what to do with the property. And they're actually going broke. You try to help them. when the guy laughs behind my back. I find out. Outer darkness. Bind him and take him away and cast him into outer darkness. I was reading this, I was outer darkness. People teach this as hellfire. You're dead, shall be consumed. You need to be resurrected. Okay? Being tormented for 1,000 years in the wrong place, and after 1,000 years you're resurrected. Sorry, we had you in the wrong place for 1,000 years. The shoe doesn't fit. Okay? Outer darkness. We call it outer space. It's dark. Okay? These astronauts maybe fly. I don't believe. I really question that. That's space station's inner space. Why? The Soviet space program even questions the strength of the American rocket to even do. And the dog came back dead. That was a rumor. I was in the Ukraine. I know the history very well. My grandfather and uncle were taken captive by Stalin. How come you're involved with the war over there? Who owns the 100,000 acre farms that Stalin made? They're on the New York Stock Exchange. Follow the money. Outer darkness and gnashing of teeth. See, they're angry at somebody. Well, Jesus warned about the one that come back from the dead. That even this did happen. When you talk to people, I talked to a girl lately about this. I said, do you really believe some saw Santa Claus? Really? We can be deceived. Okay? You think you really see something and you don't? Just because you see something online doesn't make it real anymore, does it? Or at City Hall. When was the last time you got down there to actually see what they're doing? Too busy. Too busy doing what? Playing golf with fancy golf courses with their rich friends. And many are called, but few are chosen. What's he warning about here? Our lukewarmness. Yeah. That's why I believe the two witnesses. I happen to believe Moses died. It listed it 3 times. Okay? Enoch never died. But he didn't divide the water. Didn't say he didn't. Who else divided the water? But see, most people don't know it. That Joshua divided the water of the Jordan in flood season. Why? They haven't made a movie about it? Oh, hey, just because they make a movie of it, it's got to be real. The Chosen. Hey, I watched some of it. Yeah, I can stir up, but it's not accurate. Okay? And Mel Gibson, hey, he got stirred up. He's finally coming out of one boat. Now I wonder which boat he's going to go into. See, I don't have to put exact terms on it. I think Paul never put an exact name on the name. The same one that Peter confronted, and he got killed in Rome too. How far back does Canaanite teaching go? Hey, the Seventh-day Adventists got a little about that right. Maybe. But see, we wouldn't want to go there and get hooked in there. Hooked in there? I get chucked out the door. Several of them. Hey, get your adrenaline pumping. Get you out of your doldrums. Okay. Oh boy. Are we a messed up people, huh? If my people who are called by my name humble themselves and pray and turn from our wicked ways. But no, we think we have done no wrong. We point fingers at others. It's coming down. The Ottoman Empire lasted 600 years. I told people different things about that. Most of them didn't want to go there. the Spanish guy who did, he was interested in knowing more. Okay. One guy at the whole show. Maybe that's what I went down there yesterday for again. One guy says, "You went there again?" My wife was, "Yeah, why not?" Okay. 9:30 here. Coming up to an hour. Humble ourselves and pray. Hey, one of the few groups that I know that actually kneel down to pray. Yeah. But no, we criticize them about their legalistic Saturday. No, most of them don't understand the true Sabbath. Otherwise, they would understand that the Passover and these days are referred to as high annual Sabbaths. There was 2 Sabbaths. The week he was crucified, a full 3 days and a full 3 nights in the grave, Mr. Adventist. Not Good Friday with Sun Resurrection Day. You still haven't totally come out of Romanism, pagan Christmas, nice ornament you fasten to the tree, on and on, to the floor, I mean, and pagan Easter bunnies and Easter eggs. No, I should study that more too, but I don't recall ever reading where there's an Easter egg at the Hebrew Passover. So what's it even doing there on their plate? It mentions a lamb chop, mentions different things. Lamb, because he's the Lamb of God and he didn't broke the bones, and you don't eat the lamb chop. It's there as a symbolism. Guy says a cappella music, that Revelation's got too much symbolism. Didn't like to go there. He's retired. He says he's not retired. Nice place to move to, Victoria, BC, or an island. That's where people go to retire if you can afford it in Canada. Okay. So I said, okay, go to Zechariah. But he didn't like that either. The Lord showed me this one. I was asked, one of them was the pastor out of 3 at our famous Tim Hortons restaurant. He was a hockey player, so it kind of got on a little bit in Buffalo, New York. He played hockey there for a while. Why? It's their idol. Everlasting, and some to everlasting contempt. Hey, maybe the Adventists do have an odd thing correct. They do bow and pray. Something like maybe the old Anglicans used to. Maybe some of the old Lutherans do yet too. Okay. But how many chariots came? What's it say? 20,000. And angels, and the Lord with them. Gee, I thought he only came once as a babe in the manger. Huh? And then those sheep in the high country of Israel in the Middle East in December, Hanukkah around the same time. But 9 months later, you have the Feast of Tabernacles. And he tabernacled with man. Mr. Adventist, pat yourself on the back about 7th day. I don't give you that static about the Sabbath day, but you don't want to understand there's this high annual Sabbath too, as in Sinai. Gee, I didn't know there was chariots at Sinai. Isn't that where he gave the commandments? Well, that's what it says, as in Sinai. Doesn't mean it's talking just about Sinai here. Thou hast ascended on, thou hast led captivity captive. I think that's talking about a resurrection when he came from the grave. Paul made reference to this. We just kind of left out the last part here for the rebellious also. Paul had enough trouble with the crowd without opening that can of worms. I warned one pastor in their study at Adventist. I said, you opened up this can of worms, and you're not going to like it. about the tithing. Well, wasn't very long. Two big strapping black fellas threw me out the door. Yeah. I wonder what my Nigerian friend's doing, if she's around for do some Uber driving. I gotta go here now. It's already 9:41. Maybe it's warmed up a little bit. Got a little cool. I didn't get real wet yesterday. It started raining for a little bit. I was at the coffee shop. Okay. Both our vehicles are broke down. The one is maybe going to get fixed. Maybe. I'm not sure yet. I wanted to make the old Yukon into a pickup truck. Yeah, I think we can do this. Increase the resale value. Make it into a hybrid. The trucking company phoned me yesterday. I had phoned them, left a message. Man, my phone should have the ringer on. I guess I missed the call. I was already at the show. Okay. I'll maybe see him some other time. He has only 90 trucks. Wants to make go in BC. What was it? Golden, BC. Edson Motors. Okay. Only a couple hours into the mountains west of Calgary here, through the famous resort town of Banff. The major highway through there. The railway was only pushed in to keep the Americans from moving up. There's lots of politics. The major rail route and transportation route is better through the northern, through Edmonton. That's why it's capital of Alberta here. Landlocked? Switzerland is more landlocked than we are. And they're about the same population. Oh boy. Here we go. Alberta strikes massive deal with Trump. Okay. You know how many Americans were at the show here in Calgary, Alberta? Oh, you're American. Oh, you're from Texas. Oh, you're from... Oh. Canadian oil show. And what's at the concrete show in Vegas? Oh, you're Canadian. Oh, yeah. Hey, it's a party town for the Canadians. The one guy with a concrete plant, he took his whole family down there. I says, hey, you booked the show. It's a business trip. He took his whole family. It's a party town for the northern people. The preachers go from conference to conference. G7 here this week. Every little, he's a known felon. Yeah, how many of us actually report our actual income? Yeah, how many Americans funnel the income through the Canadian casinos? Now it's clean money. But no, every little dictator country can be on the UN. Really? California should have their own vote too. They have as much population as all Canada. Switzerland's there. They only have the population of Alberta. Wow. Havre, Montana built the largest, I don't know, how large is Havre, Montana? But the freight rates in and out of Havre, Montana kills businesses in the northern states. American, you don't know that. Havre, Montana built the world's largest farm tractor. 750 horsepower tractor in 1980s ready. I knew the guys. Little Regina, Saskatchewan. No, it wasn't in Regina. The guy moved at one plant there making John Deere dozer blades. My cousin doesn't know the difference between the yellow and the green ones. I said, they got the John Deere contractor making both Degelman dozer blades. He was from North Regina. He moved the business straight into the city. Okay, on the outskirts. The other guy maybe should have done that too. He had told me afterwards he should have asked twice as much. Yeah, so you can pad their government pockets a bit too. They pulled the plug a year after he won the awards. 110-foot tillage unit made in Cupar, Saskatchewan by Kelly Kramer. I was involved with that. 110 tillage feet in 1980. Made in a little town northwest of Regina, Saskatchewan. Some big equipment. Robotic welder made in Grand Prairie, Alberta. Hey, how come they want the big AI unit up and, well, maybe cheap power from the new power dam they put in. But I guess they got problems down in the U.S. with all the methane gas coming off their cooling towers from the electrical stuff. Hey, so you stick it off in some corner where less people to complain, you know. So it doesn't matter when a cow dies. They don't want... Hey, I don't know what they're going to do with all the grazing ground. Like a lot of the ground is not suitable for tillage, okay? Some Canadians went all the way to Colorado to break up some prairie ground. I guess they found out why the Americans weren't farming it. Hey, it looked good. Hey, maybe if they use zero tillage and save some of the moisture, I didn't think it worked too well. Too high elevation or something, weather conditions wasn't conducive to cultivation, so it was grazing ground. Okay, I guess we're just going to have a bunch more buffalo running around, because they don't seem to want to have cattle. No. Rather eat worms from 100% pure beef. Notice they didn't say it is 100%. What's the name of the plant? Subway. Bake our own bread. No, it's a play on the word. It's frozen dough. They didn't say they made the bread or made the dough. Hey, it's a play on the words. A lot of people, how many don't even know what the word iniquity means? The guy said that. He's Canadian. I said, well, look it up in dictionary or Google. I had to look it up. Kind of interesting to see what Google said about it. What we do knowing and willfully, transgressing the will of God. Dietary thing in the future. Really? It's already happening. Love is already waxing cold. We call it good Christian stewardship and want a tax deduction from an atheistic government system. On and on it goes. That's what that April 8, 24 solar eclipse is about. Okay. What is going to happen this fall? Don't be caught up thinking everybody else is a cult. Okay? You make the guy, the person, and who they make jokes about it, turns their neck. Maybe the lady should be in the nursery. If he stops teaching what he's teaching, because his wife, body language, is saying no, guess who's controlling what's behind the pulpit? If some elder, deacon, reprimands him, there's lots of pressure behind these pastors. They're hired. Where's the evangelists? They're not even around anymore. They're out the door. This is what they're doing. Why? You've made it a cult. You have made it a cult. Do you hear me? Putting other people's opinion. Don't justify what you believe because some teacher or some pastor or rabbi says something. Thus saith the Lord. Him who understand. Okay? What do most people perceive to be a holy place? Most people don't go to a synagogue. We call it a church. It's his church, not ours, not theirs. It's his sheep, not ours, not theirs. Feed his sheep. Do we actually feed people information? Or we just want to reap what we haven't even sown. Maybe that's why I was at the oil show yesterday. There's opportunities for people. Sell your semi-truck. Buy a robotic unit for welding made in Grand Prairie, Alberta. You'll make more money with that unit than you will with 2 or 3 semi-trucks. Why? Put it in the back of a pickup, go from shop to shop. They need a few extra welders. Where are they going to find them when they got some job that it needs to be done? You got the machine. Guy said to do the work of how many welders? Well, that's based on a 24-hour shift and 3 shifts, and you got to have somebody supervise it. So maybe it'll replace 6 welders. What's 6 welders worth per hour? Work it out. Contract out the machine. What an opportunity for people. But no, your pastor's not going to tell you. And then you'll turn around and give them the donation for a tax deduction? Really? You heard it here. And this is coming. Martina Bride sang a song. A day of reckoning, a day of accountability is coming. It's coming. About 100 days now. I have to keep on reminding myself about this. Okay. You have a good day. A good and godly day. Maybe get on your knees and beg for mercy. Get in the water and get dunked again. The power of the Holy Spirit. 1,400 people in Oklahoma. I thought I had my passport renewed now, and I found his wife hasn't even completed the transaction yet. So I lost it helping somebody else. The Nigerian lady left her car at the LRT station. No, it's not 24. Okay, then Canadian Postal was on strike, so I didn't have my driver's license for photo ID, so I'm using my passport. Now I don't know where passport is. Now I can't even go to the U.S. Okay. I'm going to phone her and see what she's doing. Okay. Okay. Have a good day. Bye-bye.